Hi, I'm Chuck Chvala, former Senate Majority Leader.
And I'm Scott Jensen, former Assembly Speaker.
We're the insiders. So, Scott, hey, Robin Vos had this big investigation by Justice Gableman. What's going to happen? When's it going to end? And what's going to be the result? And was it worth it?
Well, here's my guess of what's going to happen. I would guess that sometime in February, Justice Gableman will wrap up his investigation, leaving enough time for the Republican legislature to pass any recommendations he has for increasing election integrity before they leave in March. So they got to have that stuff before they go home in March. It will then go to the governor, who will, of course, veto it. And then after that, it'll go to the voters, who will make a decision about whether this was a worthwhile effort and whether or not there are things that need to be done to increase election security, or whether or not Tony Evers is right. So I think that's the way it should go. Who knows how long it'll take, though.
This was a taxpayer boondoggle spent by one of the worst Supreme Court justices Wisconsin has ever seen. So bad that he did not run for re-election, in a way that got absolutely nothing done, and totally and only in furtherance of Donald Trump's big lie. And he found nothing, absolutely nothing. Anyone who participated in this to weaken the faith of the public in elections, it was a disaster. It was wrong. And it brings our democracy closer to fragility and to breaking down. We face a prospect over the next 4 years where we could be in a situation where the elections that we have will be more like Russian elections than they are like our elections. And that means that you have a vote, but it doesn't matter how you cast a ballot, because the outcome is going to be decided in advance. And the fact that Robin Vos and Gableman engaged in this, someday, I hope, someday people will look back on this and say it was one of the darkest days in Wisconsin electoral history.
Well, Chuck, you have seen that both the Nonpartisan Audit Bureau and now some courts here have found that some of the things that were done in the last elections were not lawful. And I'm hoping that what Justice Gableman comes back with is legislation to make sure that future elections in the state are actually conducted within the law. I don't think that's an outrageous demand.
As long as they say that no one will have their ballot less likely to be cast or to be counted, that's fine. But as you say, the illegal thing that was found by one judge was that the elections board did not have the authority to have multiple places for drop boxes. Let's take a step back. People dropping off their ballots in these drop boxes, was there any indication that any of those were not legally cast votes in the sense that it was legitimate citizens casting legitimate votes? There has been no indication that any single one of those votes was improper. We're talking about the minutia. We're talking about rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, rather than looking at what's most important, which is to be proud of what we used to be proud of in Wisconsin, which is that we were at the top of voter turnout in the country. Since when did it become a problem to have more people voting? It's not. That's the bottom line.
Well, I think we will have high turnout again in Wisconsin's elections. It seems to be going up the last 3 or 4 cycles each time. And my guess, given a big, expensive U.S. Senate race, a big battle for governor, my guess is turnout is going to be up for an off-year election this fall as well. But we'll see.
See you next time.
See you next week.